Craig's working on project number 3 from the Humorously Speaking Manual, Make Them Laugh. Today his objectives are to prepare a speech that opens and closes with a humorous story, include jokes, and deliver the jokes and stories, I need my glasses, smoothly and effortlessly. Craig Hafer.
Charlotte, thank you.
Yes.
Please give it up for Charlotte. Craig began running when he was 28 years old as a way to mellow out over the lunch break. When he was 46, he began running in earnest, training for and running marathons. He has run 26 marathons, 25 of those in 8 years. Today's speech is about one of these 26 marathons. The title of his speech, Aim High. Craig.
Thank you. The greater danger for most of us is not that we set our aim too high and fall short, but that we set our aim too low and hit the mark. Michelangelo. The year was 2008. The date, September 28th. The place, Berlin. I had 3 very aggressive goals that day. My first goal was to set a new world marathon record. The previous year, a marathon record had been set at the Berlin Marathon in a time of 2 hours and 4 minutes. So I knew the course was fast. My strategy was to go out with the lead runners for the first half of the race, and during the second half of the race, slowly pull away with a fast sprint to the finish line. I was in the best shape of my life. I knew this could be my day. The weather was perfect for a fast marathon. The temperatures were in the low 50s, it was overcast skies, and no wind. I arrived to the race start an hour early, well before most of the other 36,000 participants arrived. I waited for what seemed like a very, very long forever. Finally, the announcer gave the countdown, shot the gun, and the marathon was underway. I knew, as soon as I crossed that starting line, that my goal to set a new world marathon record wasn't going to happen this day. Somehow, there were hundreds of runners ahead of me. I quickly felt elbows, as apparently the European custom is just to literally elbow your way through the crowd. My instinct was to kind of hold back a little bit. I lost valuable time. At 1.5 kilometers, something tapped me in the side of the head. I looked over. I saw a balloon marked 3 hours. I looked ahead a 0.5 kilometer. I saw another balloon marked 3 hours. Okay, 2 3-hour pace setters. It was time for me to focus on my second goal of the day, run a sub-3-hour marathon. Français? What was that? That didn't sound German. Oh, I get it. Parlez-vous français? The Frenchman answered in French, of course. We, along with the long string of French. Sorry, my Frenchman buddy. That's all the French I can remember from my 8th grade. My conversation with the Frenchman momentarily distracted me, and when I looked up, I couldn't see the 3-hour balloon. We went around a corner. I looked ahead a 0.5 kilometer. I could see the 3-hour balloon. Okay, the trailing balloon must have popped. I kept pushing. I kept pushing. We went around another corner. There was a beautiful German woman holding a placard which read, "Sie sind meine Lieblings," which translates to, "You are my favorite." I answered in German, "Ich bin?" She nodded yes with a wink. Her beauty and encouragement energized me, and I kept pushing. At the half, I was just over 1 hour and 31 minutes. I knew that it was going to be tough to run the second half faster than the first half. I was getting tired now. I could tell that my second goal of the day was going away. I was not going to run a sub-3-hour marathon. The greater danger for most of us is not that we set our aim too high and fall short, but that we set our aim too low and hit the mark. I kept pushing. When I got to 35 kilometers, by the way, the marathon is 42 kilometers in metric units, late in the race, the spectators were helping the runners. And it was a little bit warmer now. There was a young boy with his arms stretched out holding a wet sponge. I thought, that wet sponge would feel really good on my neck right now. I'm kind of warm. Just as soon as I approached that boy, ready to grab that sponge, he pulled his arm back and started laughing his head off. His prank made me momentarily forget the pain I was in this late in the race. I kept pushing. We came around the final corner. I could see the Brandenburg Gate, and I knew the finish line was a half a kilometer beyond. But what was this? Now I was running on cobblestone, and my lightweight racing shoes didn't have much cushion. Every step was excruciating pain now. Cramp? Cramp or no cramp, I kept pushing. As I crossed under the finish line, I saw the time on the clock, 3 hours and 9 minutes. The greater danger for most of us is not that we aim too high and fall short, but that we set our aim too low and hit the mark. I had totally missed all 3 of my goals that day. I finished 2,688th place out of almost 36,000 runners. And yet, I knew I had run the best race I could for that day. I had pushed with all 3 goals in mind. I had given it my all. Mr. Toastmaster?